Well, welcome to today's SMA program. With me today is Marcia Hampton. Marcia is the director, and I always have to make sure I get this right, Marcia, Director of Community and Downtown Services, because we've changed that title a number of times. Yes, sir. But Marcia has agreed to join us today to talk a little bit about Georgia Cities Week and the essay program titled If I Were Mayor. Now, I know a number of students that have written essays, and you went through the process of selecting winners, and later in the program we're going to interview each of those winners. So could you tell our audience a little bit about, I guess first of all, Georgia Cities Week and how If I Were Mayor actually works in that program?
Okay. Georgia Cities Week is a week that's celebrated by the Georgia Municipal Association, which I know you know a lot about. And it's a week where GMA encourages local governments to try to get the community involved and educate the local community on local government. We've been participating in Georgia Cities Week for several years. We've done several different things. We've done coloring contests, we've done essay contests. Of course, we always do the tour of City Hall, which has been very successful. The number of kids have just grown year after year, and I think that that's fun for the second graders. We host them every year. But the essay contest is something that GMA does on their own. Basically, they solicit out to all the different districts across the state and asking sixth graders, only sixth graders, to write an essay. What would they do if they were mayor? And what they encouraged us to do this year, local governments, was to actually kind of do that contest on our own and see what we can kind of pull from the region, since they have been having so much success. So this year we thought we'd bring it back.
So we have three winners.
Yes, sir.
From the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
One winner from each one of those.
And what we try to do, what we have tried to do once the communications department was established, was try to make certain during Georgia Cities Week that we engage each level of the school system. Well, on today's program, we're actually going to interview the three winners, winner from 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And I look forward to that. And another part of this that won't be on today's program, but will be on a future program, is the public service announcement. I wonder if you could tell our audience a little bit about what that is and how you were involved in that. The Public Service Announcement Contest was a contest that we started last year. It was an opportunity for us to get the students and parents involved in what we do in what the communication department does with City TV. Of course, this program is on City TV. It allows the students to take the theme of Georgia Cities Week and come up with a script. And kind of sort of like what we've done with the essay contest, we kind of narrow it down. They've kind of kicked me out of the selection process because I would give everybody a trophy. I would let everybody win, so I don't get to choose. We do receive them in. The City TV staff looks at the scripts and looks to see if these scripts actually can be produced into a program. Sure. And how well they coincide with the theme of Georgia Cities Week. Last year's winner was Eastside Elementary School, which that PSA aired over the course of all of last year, which was a very good one. And this year, a class from Mirror Lake won. And they were very excited. We had a student reception for them. So the contest is growing. We hope to engage the high schoolers. It is something that we offer to all students out in the public school system. So we hope that it kind of catches on and people can kind of see what we do at City TV. And of course, everybody likes to be on TV. Oh,
absolutely. And let me just say thank you for the wonderful job that you and your department and those who work with you did this year. I know you had a reception for all the winners, and it was a great reception. And the things that you did to get us to the point where we could actually select three winners. I know it was not easy, and it was a lengthy and a very difficult process because there were some extremely good essays that were submitted. But thank you for all your efforts and everything that you do. And thank you for coming on today to tell us a little bit about how the program works. And please stay tuned. We'll be back with the three essay winners very shortly. Hi, I'm James Gribble, and my City TV is streaming 24/7. Well, thank you for joining me on today's Ask the Mayor program. I have a very special guest, Caitlin Willis with Airway Christian Academy. Thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Caitlin was a recent winner on an essay contest, If I Were the Mayor. And in looking over your essay, Caitlin, you mentioned 3 areas that are very important to the city, and they're very important to me. Those areas are fixing roads, planting more landscaping, and distributing recycle bins. Those are all important, very important aspects of being a mayor. You work on all those projects. But in your essay, you mentioned these, and just one question that wasn't in there. If you were the mayor, what do you think would be the most difficult part of the job?
Well, I definitely think the most difficult part of being a mayor would be trying to please all the people and take in their ideas and actually use them.
That is a difficult part. And I can tell you, from being the mayor for a number of years, it's very difficult to please everyone. And sometimes what you have to do is just do the right thing. And the right thing may not please everyone. But at the end of the day, in your soul, in your heart, if you've done the right thing and you know you've done the right thing, there still may be some people that didn't like that particular decision. But I think they will respect the city council and the mayor doing what was best for the city, and that's what we always strive to do. One of the things you mentioned was fixing the roads. What do you think is our most major concern with respect to the roads in the city today?
Well, definitely the holes in the road, because cars, their tires can go flat in the holes from anything that got caught in them, and they can get stuck, and they don't make driving as easy as it should be, I think.
That's true, and actually you're right on target, because roads with holes in them or uneven pavement, they can be dangerous, and we do strive to fix as many of those as we can and pave the roads. What we have is actually a list of all the streets in the city of Douglasville, and those streets are graded based on their road surface. Mm-hmm. And those that have the lowest grade, which means that they're the poorest quality roads with respect to holes and uneven pavement, those are the roads that we pave on an annual basis. And our goal is to work all the way through the list so that we are paving roads as they begin to deteriorate. Then we're cycling back around to pave those. You may have noticed that just last summer we did Campbellton Street. Mm-hmm. And a part of Campbellton Street was actually grinding the asphalt off, because if you pave the street so many times, then that asphalt level begins to build up. And what you have at the edge of the road is a drop-off. So there's special equipment that you'll see from time to time that actually grinds the old asphalt down so we can put a new and even base. But those are extremely good topics. Recycling bins, we do have a citywide recycling program here in the city of Douglasville, and we pick the recycling up with the regular sanitation pickup. We pick up Monday through Thursday, and it's included in the cost of picking up your regular residential trash. But that's a very good idea. It took us a long time to get started there, and it's important for everyone in the city of Douglasville to recycle. I was wondering if you could take just a couple of minutes and read your essay to our audience, and I believe you have a copy of it there. If you wouldn't mind, I know that our audience would be very interested in what you had to say in your essay.
Being mayor can be a difficult job. You would have a lot of responsibilities and definitely a lot of paperwork. But if I were mayor, things would be different. I would fix roads, have prettier landscaping, and make sure that everybody recycled, especially schools. The first thing I would do is fix the roads. A lot of roads in cities have holes, cracks, and can be uneven. When a road has holes or cracks, it can be dangerous for drivers on the road. If a road is uneven, it can make driving unpleasant. When holes and cracks are left unrepaired, the damage can become worse from passing cars. It is better to fix them right away so the drivers of cars can stay safe. Sometimes, if a hole gets too bad, a car might have a hard time driving over them. Cracks are bad because nails and other sharp objects might get caught in the cracks and pop the tires. It's good to fix the roads when it is needed. The next thing I would change would be to add more landscaping. It's nice to see pretty flowers and trees while you drive or walk around the city. Not only do the plants look beautiful, they can attract people too. If people think it's a lovely city, then they might want to move in. The plants can also help with pollution. Plants can filter the pollution out of the air and replace it with clean oxygen. Trees can also provide shade over sidewalks and in parks, so you don't get too hot while you're outside in the summertime. Trees can be good for climbing too. They're a great way to get exercise and have fun. The last thing I would do is make sure that everybody, especially schools, has recycling bins. Everybody has at least one thing they can recycle. Bottles, cans, and glass are some recyclable items that everybody has. Paper is a major recyclable thing that schools throw away. Recycling these things can keep a lot of trash out of landfills and keep pollution down and the air clean. Landfills take away a lot of the land that could be used for parks or forests. Recycling paper also means more oxygen and better and cleaner air. I like helping my city, and being mayor would be a good way to do that. Fixing roads, adding landscaping, and recycling is a good way to help out the city. As mayor, these are the things I would do to help my city be beautiful and stay beautiful.
Well, Caitlin, I can tell you you're right on target with the things that I personally am interested in, and that is making the city a more pleasant place to live. Actually, in the city, we can't pave every road every time we'd like to, but we can pick the trash up on the side of the road. And the city of Douglasville has a number of crews. They're inmate crews. And we get some prisoners from the state prison. And their job is to pick up trash. I don't know if you saw that. There's a big pile of trash down on Chapel Hill Road last weekend. Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
That was 1 week of trash that we've picked up on the sides of the road. So you're right on target with making Douglasville a more beautiful place. And I thank you for submitting your essay. And one day, you may be the mayor of the city of Douglasville with these great ideas.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on today's As the Mayor program, and we'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Patty Ellis, and My City TV is full of information.
Well, welcome back to today's Ask the Mayor program. With me today is a very special person, a winner of our essay contest, Matthew Kimball, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
From Chestnut Log Middle School. Matthew is a 7th grader there and was one of the winners. And in your essay, Matthew, you talked about 3 things. New rules for the mall, new restaurants and libraries, and taking advice from the public. How difficult was it for you to think of these ideas and put your essay together?
Well, it wasn't really hard. I just put some thought into it, and then it just came to me.
So these are things that you thought would make the city of Douglasville a better place to live, work, and play, I
Yes,
guess.
sir.
And when you put thought into it, how did you actually select these 3 things? Are they things that are important to you, or the
Yes,
things
sir.
you thought would make
I think it would make it better.
it would make it a better city? So let's talk a little bit about those things. And I know you're later in the program you're going to read your essay to our audience, and it's very good, by the way.
Thank you.
And one of the things you talk about were new rules for the mall. Could you tell our audience a little bit about what your thoughts were? And before you talk about that, there are some limited rules there now where it's an escort policy, basically, if you're under a certain age. But you have some different ideas. Could you share those with us?
Well, like, just kids are too young now doing stuff. Like, on the news the other day, I saw a 5-year-old brought a gun to school. So I'm like, why are these little kids running in malls and stuff? They're like 8, and they're just running around, not doing anything, just hanging out. And I would have security in every every store in the mall, because people just steal stuff.
Mm-hmm. So if you were the mayor, you would have additional security to police the mall and keep law and order in the mall.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's a very good idea. And I'm sure that would make it much safer for those who are shopping there, and might even improve the business at the mall if people felt more safe. Very good idea. And you talk about new restaurants and new libraries. Tell our audience a little bit about that.
Well, I think it would make the city some more money if they have more restaurants that the people want, instead of just making more McDonald's and stuff like that. Give them more variety.
Good quality restaurants. Okay. And you mentioned libraries.
Yes,
so
sir. We got one library. I think we need like maybe 3. So just spread them around, so you don't have to ride all the way to another part of the city to get some books. Yeah,
the one we have in the city now is down on Selman Drive. Do you use that library a lot to do your research for school? And well, that's important. If you're good at doing research, you'll make a good attorney. Have you thought about what you wanted to do as once you graduate from high school and move on
to college?
Go to college. Picked out a college yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, and the last thing that I believe you covered in your essay was, which is probably the most important thing, or certainly one of the most important things for anyone who is in public office, and that is to listen to those that you represent. And could you talk a little bit about that?
Well, the people know best. They pretty much run the town, and they want their ideas as much as everyone else. So.
Well, Matthew, I can tell you, I've been in office for a number of years, and I struggle with that all the time. And here's what typically happens, and I'm sure it happens with any office. You work to get elected, and then once you get elected, then you have a lot of duties and responsibilities, which oftentimes are at City Hall or wherever your office is, and you're working from sun up until sundown. And you come in contact with a number of people, but it's not an awful lot of people, because you're, as I describe it, you're kind of housed in your office, or you're housed in your workplace. And so for me, I have to constantly struggle to make sure that I stay in touch with the public, because you're really in office to serve the public. And how can you serve them if you don't know what they're thinking? And I can tell you a story about that. When I was first elected as a city council member, I had a neighbor that was instrumental in helping me get elected. And after I was elected, I constantly called him and asked for his advice, and asked him to come to city council meetings and tell the council or speak to the council about what he thought his views were on particular issues. And after a couple of times of that, he told me, he said, "Mickey," he said, "now I helped you get elected. I think you're doing a good job. I think you're going to make a very good city council member. But I elected you to make all these decisions and not call me up every day." So it's a balance between trying to get people to come to meetings and trying to actually figure out how they would like for you to vote. I know when I was first elected, I thought it would be an easy task to decide what the public wanted you to do. And you would go to 4 meetings a month, and you would always know what the right thing to do was, or how the public wanted you to vote. But not issues, or not all issues, are as clear cut as that. Sometimes it's kind of a balance, There are many important things that would require you to vote a particular way, and there are just as many oftentimes that would say, no, this is probably not a good idea. So it's not clear cut, and the easiest way to make those decisions is to get as much input from the public as you can. So you're right on target with that. Would you mind taking just a few minutes and read your essay to our audience? Okay.
Okay. If I were mayor, I would make this town a better place to live in. There are some adjustments I would make. I would make some new rules at the mall. There would be a rule about parental supervision. You would have to have a parent come with you if you wanted to be there. I would have security in every store. I would create more restaurants and also a public library. I would put a barbecue palace in the middle of town. I would try to make the transportation system to make this town a faster and healthier place. I would try, but it would take some time. This would also help hospitals and fire departments. They could get to the scene faster. I would make this town more stable. This leads to making a better state. This leads to making a better country, and that will make a better earth. Like I said, it's going to take some time, but it is going to be worth it. If I step into this position at mayor, I promise to make this town better. I will listen to the people of this town. I will take advice from them. I think to be mayor of this town, I would have to take in what the community wants. Because I know there's a lot more people that know this town better than me. I'm sure they'll want their ideas to be heard. This is why I would be proud to be mayor of this town, not just to have my name in the paper, but to help out to make this town better, stronger, and more stable.
Matthew, that is a great essay. I've just got one question. Tell me about the barbecue palace.
Love barbecue.
You love barbecue. Is there a restaurant named the Barbecue Palace, or this is the name of your
I guess
restaurant?
just barbecue palace.
Well, it's a great idea. I love barbecue also, you can tell. Well, thank you very much.
Thank
It was
you.
a very good essay. I appreciate you joining me today, and I look forward to you being our next mayor of the city of Douglasville. Thank you, Matthew.
Hi, I'm Shan Weeks with Keep Douglasville Beautiful, and my city TV is good for the environment.
Well, thank you for joining me today on the Ask the Mayor program. We have with us Jessica Lewis, and Jessica is a sixth grader at Airway Christian Academy. Thank you very much for coming in. Jessica is a winner of the essay contest. The title of the essays, of course, was If I Was Mayor. And I thank you for submitting your essay. It's got some great ideas in the essay. And I know you'd make a great mayor. Have you ever thought about a future in politics, or maybe when you become an adult running for public office?
No.
You haven't thought about it? Well, I hope you do, because it's very satisfying when you can help people, and that's really what serving in public office is trying to represent those who put their trust in you and trying to do their business, really the city business or county, or if you're on a state level or a federal level. And in your essay, you wrote about 3 topics: community-wide recycling festival, an enforcement of littering, which is very near and dear to my heart, because actually I have been very involved in our litter cleanup and Keep Douglasville Beautiful program that we have. And the third area you mentioned was hiring gardeners. Can you tell our audience a little bit about how you selected these topics to write about?
Well, these are the things that I would want to do if I were to become mayor.
Okay, well, those are very important things to work on. And if you were mayor, those are things that you could spend a lot of time working on, and they would return value to those who live here in the city of Douglasville. Can you just take a few minutes and read your essay to our audience, and maybe we'll talk a little bit more about your essay?
If I were mayor, I would help the environment. I would encourage people to recycle, enforce laws on littering, and make the city beautiful. As mayor, I would encourage the people to recycle. I would ask the board if there could be a community-wide festival for recycling. This festival would take place at the courthouse. There would be a parade and many exhibits showing how important it is to recycle. All the money that was raised would go to establish a recycling center. I would also enforce littering laws. I hate when people throw trash in other people's yards, so I would raise the fine on littering. Maybe people would think twice before they litter. As mayor, I would make the city beautiful. I would hire gardeners to plant flowers and trees around the highways, streets, and parks. It is important for tourists to see how beautiful the city is. By recycling, enforcing littering laws, and planting trees, I know Douglasville could always be beautiful.
Well, those are great ideas. And actually, the city of Douglasville, you mentioned hiring gardeners. We had an arborist that worked for the city for a while. It was under a grant program. And he had some great ideas that we began to implement. Of course, the grant ran out before he could finish all of his work. But one of the goals that we had is, you know, you only get one opportunity to make a first impression. And the way you make a first impression on people who visit your community is actually most people who visit the city of Douglasville arrive via the interstate. And so those exits at the interstate are your first opportunity to make a good impression. So our plan was to actually start a beautification process at those exit ramps. And I've seen some cities and jurisdictions that were able to do that, and it's still our long-term goal to actually plant flowers and, as you mentioned, have gardeners who would be involved. Some cities have garden clubs who actually do the work. I mean, they're pulling weeds and planting flowers and those kind of things. So you're right on target with things that are important to all of us who live in the city of Douglasville. And you mentioned a recycling festival. I also think that is extremely important. We have a recycling program in the city of Douglasville. It's called curbside recycling, where we actually pick up recycling. And some of your ideas about expanding that are certainly good ideas and things that we need to look into. And I know if you were mayor, you would certainly make those a priority. And I still think, as my first question was, have you thought about public office, and with ideas like that, I think you should. It certainly is satisfying to be able to help the public, and that's really what we're all about. And I appreciate you writing the essay, because it's important to hear from the community. And as I talked to one of our other winners, it's a struggle, I know, for me to get public input. And as much public input as you can get, it enables you to make a more informed and a better decision. So thank you for taking the time. I know you put a lot of thought into your essay, and congratulations on being a winner.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for joining us on today's Ask the Mayor program, and we'll be right back.
Well, this is nice.
So, what do you want to talk to me about, Mom?
Oh, at school, do they, have any of your friends ever taken drugs, sweetie?
I don't think so.
Does anyone ever talk about drugs at school?
Talking to your kids about drugs can be tough, so you'll need to be ready. For help, visit our website at drugfree.org.
Let's get out there and play! That's right. I'm Eli Manning of the New York Giants, reminding you that being active is important. You don't need to be a pro to be healthy. Learn how you can be a player at smallstep.gov. So get up and play an hour a day.
Well, Marcia, thank you very much for joining me today. Those were some great essays that we had. You did a great job going through these and picking really 3 very, very good essays. And thank you for joining us on today's Ask the Mayor program.